What up, regime? Iamsymphony. Today we are going to analyze the Adele medley from the Wish Awards. I'm not going to do the whole video. I'm going to link the original one in the description and you guys could go watch that. It's like a really beast performance, but I picked out 3 parts I want to show you guys because I think they might be overlooked when most people watch performances, especially if you're not looking at analytically. So this is the first one. It's a great example of like a falsetto and how to use perfect technique. Sorry, those are my dogs in the background. So listen to the change in the falsetto, watch. Did you hear that? It just blended perfectly. It wasn't like a straight like cut off like where someone's voice cracked. So there's 2 ways you can hit falsetto, right? You can gradually slide into the module and let it almost like fade over to where you don't know when it's happening. It just kind of hits you. You know what I'm saying? It's just normal voice, and all of a sudden that falsetto is like taking over it and it just glides into it, right? And then there's the other one where you can sing in your full voice and then all of a sudden your voice cracks to the falsetto. And that sounds really cool too. But I like this because this is equally just as hard as that voice crack. It doesn't sound as fancy as like the voice crack would, but it's probably a little bit harder to do. See how smooth it was, that glide right there? All right, so the reason that's impressive is because there's most people when they hear the falsetto, they assume, or when they try to do it on their own, they try to sing it too throaty. So when you're singing, the higher the note is, obviously it's a little bit harder, right? And the reason people use a falsetto sometimes is because they can't hit the higher notes. Other times, like in this situation, you do it to add more emotion to the song, okay? Either way, you need to sing it the right way if you want to be able to control your breath for the rest of the song and not lose your voice later on towards the end. So when you sing, more or less, not even more or less, for the most part, you should be singing with your stomach relaxed. Like it should be entirely relaxed. The more relaxed it is, the higher you can go. The only problem is the higher you go, the harder it is to relax your stomach. So what happens is when people hit this falsetto, they start sounding super throaty, and it doesn't sound really clear, but it might sound more, sometimes it just sounds better from the throat, but the only problem with that is you might be sacrificing the song later on when it gets to like the real parts where you might need your breath control, or you might need to already have like your muscles relaxed down there and everything like that. Another thing too is like when you sing, you need to have like your vocal cords really relaxed, and there's a lot of like exercises that people will do before they sing to like stretch them out. Like some people will look straight up and they'll open their jaw as much as they can, and they almost want to pop their ears and let these kind of just like, I don't know like what word, like I don't know, like you just want to let them relax and not flex so much. Flex isn't the correct term, but you know what I'm saying, right? So the reason this is like super perfect is because she doesn't sing with her throat at all. It's her stomach's relaxed the entire time. And she goes from like her like full voice and it slides into the falsetto, and it shows how much control she has over her vocal cords because there is absolutely no throat in it. Like I said, like singing throaty isn't wrong at all. Like if it sounds good, it sounds good. That's what matters. But as far as like a technical, like analytical viewpoint from it, this is like spot on because it's like full voice, perfectly gliding into it. Stomach's relaxed the whole time, and you can hear her full voice just like disappear, and the falsetto takes over. Beast. The second part is an example of a harmony. It's like an augmented chord, but it's not necessarily an augmented chord from the instruments in the background. It's the combination of both singers and the instruments that are making the augmented chord. Okay, so let's hear it really quick. There's the falsetto and the harmony. So do you hear how the chords sound really dramatic? Let's hear that again really quick. They're harmonizing, sounds normal, and then watch. It sounds really dramatic and almost like you're hanging off on the edge. A lot of the time when we're listening to music, we forget that the singer singing with the chords in the background from the instrument sound so good because a lot of the time they're making like a hybrid chord. So we forget that the voice is like an instrument sometimes, and it's not that they're singing over the music, it's that they're singing with the music to make even more of a hybrid sound that's going to sound pleasing to us. Right, so for example, I'm going to talk about augmented chords or suspended chords or any type of chord, basically just adding more to it, right? So like this is an E minor, and this isn't the chord that they sing in the song, but this is just my example, E minor, right? Okay, well, what would we do to make E minor sound a little bit different? We would add some notes to it, and we might bring it up an octave. What else would we do to it? Well, we might suspend a chord or take away a note or whatever, and we'll do like an E minor 7. So this is an E minor, this is an E minor 7. Do you hear the difference? Now, what else could we do to make it augmented or add a little bit more to it? This is where music becomes like math a little bit. And if you understand numbers, you can basically know what notes to take away to make the chords sound even more emotional or even more hybrid and just cooler sounding. That's an E minor foundation, but there's different notes in there, and it's very open and broad, but it sounds a lot different than, even though it has the same bass note and root chord. So when we're listening to them harmonize, one of them sings a certain note, the other one sings another note in the scale, and then there's a chord in the background from the instruments, right, going on, but all of them connected together is like the same example of this being something compared to when all three of them sing together. It would make something like that a little bit more hybrid sounding, emotional, really using each instrument, artist, or whatever to its full capability as far as production value goes. Let's hear it again one more time. Listen to it. Hear it, more emotional. Really, really good stuff. Another cool thing that they did too is, and this is for whoever produced it, I don't know if they did the arrangement or someone else helped them. Regardless, it sounds really cool. One person came in with their full voice, the other person came in with a falsetto, and then once they changed in the middle of the line, they flipped. So this person starts singing with the full voice, and this person starts singing with the falsetto, or vice versa, whatever. And then they got to the like really big dramatic part where there was the chord change. Sorry, those are my dogs. And then they both sang the full voice to add even more like drama to it and theatrics, and it just built up, and that's where we got those like that end full chord where it's just like it's hitting you like crazy, right? I love that kind of stuff. I'm gonna start doing all my videos like this, guys. I don't want to do them with the whole video playing through because I think you guys should go watch the originals, because Wish Bus and the artists that perform on the Wish Bus deserve all those views, and I don't want to take away from any of them. So if you guys don't like analysis like this, I understand if it's kind of boring. I get it, all right? If you guys did enjoy them, click subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.